So I am subscribed to a multi-weekly news update email list, right? It gives me all of the information about what's going on in the filmmaking world and the entertainment world. And when I saw this, I was kind of blown away because although I know it intellectually that someone like Mr. Beast is so incredibly successful, when you put it in this perspective, it really took me by surprise. And I think it's going to take you by surprise as well. If we're being very honest with ourselves, and all of the people in Hollywood are being honest with themselves, Mr. Beast, someone who started in his small bedroom in North Carolina making YouTube videos, is now going to, or at least on the path to, completely overtaking Hollywood, completely eating Hollywood's lunch when it comes to amount of eyeballs and when it comes to even monetary valuation. So the major news here is that Mr. Beast is in talks to raise funds that would value his business at $5 billion. And this is in combination with, all of his assets, which is Lunchy, Feastables, Mr. Beast Burger, and obviously Mr. Beast LLC, his production company, who does all of his online video content. Last year, he recorded 400 plus million in sales, which is that's a large amount of money, a huge amount of money. So let me read this little excerpt from what I got on this update because they put it very interestingly. Mr. Beast is worth more than Lionsgate. Hollywood execs might soon be pitching their shows to Mr. Beast instead of the other way around, which is interesting because he's just coming off of wrapping up Beast Games with Amazon Prime. Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast, is raising hundreds of millions at a staggering $5 billion valuation. Mr. Beast LLC is now worth more than double Lionsgate's market cap, which is $2.41 billion, and is closing in on MGM's $8.5 billion sale price to Amazon. If you remember, Amazon just purchased MGM Studio, the lion is a roaring head, that legacy studio, MGM. Amazon bought them, and they were purchased by Amazon for $8.5 billion. And Mr. Beast is closing in on that. The power flip is what makes this truly revolutionary. Unlike traditional actors who work as talent for hire, Mr. Beast owns his production company, consumer brands, and direct fan relationships, making him more like a media conglomerate than a performer. And I think it's very true. He is a performer, but first and foremost, he is a business owner. And he's just positioned himself to be both of those. For his Amazon Prime series, Beast Games, Mr. Beast willingly lost tens of millions despite Amazon's $100 million commitment. This reverses the traditional model in three key ways. The creator sacrifices immediate profits for long-term brand building. The creator takes creative control at their own financial risk, and the streaming giants functions as distribution partners rather than gatekeepers. And what's interesting about that distribution partner, The Chosen, a popular series about Jesus, just recently signed with Amazon Prime as well, so that they can dump a ton of money into distribution for that show, because that show has proven itself in the market to be extremely valuable and have a very large fan base. And when I was thinking about this, it kind of reminded me of another person who did something very similar, but inside of the Hollywood system, and it started back in 2006. And that somebody is Tyler Perry. I found this article. It's titled, "Why is Tyler Perry So Rich? Exploring the Net Worth and Key Assets of the Beauty and Black Creator." Now, if you don't know, Tyler Perry is, like Mr. Beast, talent. So he's in traditional Hollywood films, but he's also more so a business owner, and he's been in tons of films. Medea is his most popular, I think, that really took his acting to the next level, where he plays kind of like an old ghetto grandma. But some of you might not know that Tyler Perry is not just, an actor who invests in things. He is a major business owner, and the last estimated net worth of Tyler Perry was $1.4 billion. And a big reason for that is because he 100% owns the content he has created and has a library dating back to the 1990s, which earns him an income. One of the most successful projects, Medea, has grossed over $660 million. He also earns a cut as a producer for the projects he has worked on. And then back in 2006, Tyler Perry established Tyler Perry Studios, which is one of the largest film production studios in the United States, located on a 330-acre campus in Atlanta, Georgia, not far from where I live right now. It features sound stages, outdoor sets, and top-notch production facilities. This studio has made Atlanta a key location for film and TV production, attracting many projects from the industry. And there's also state, tax incentives that's brought the industry to Georgia, specifically rallying around the city of Atlanta as a hub, but it kind of all over the state. And Tyler Perry is definitely one of the pioneers for the Georgia film landscape. When I look at the example of Mr. Beast that's currently pioneering a new entertainment method leading into the future, and then people like Tyler Perry, who have, over the past decade, 2 decades, 2.5 decades, has built an empire, it really makes me think like, hey, there's not really like a method to the madness of Hollywood. It's really about, are you smart? Do you approach the creative craft of filmmaking kind of like a business? And I think with the ever evolving and in flux world of Hollywood and filmmaking, I just don't think that that's going to be a sustainable future for the craft. And what's interesting, and it can be freeing for a lot of people, is that you can really just build your own way. And so there's really 2 things that you have to really lean into to consider doing things the unorthodox way, like the way Mr. Beast has, like the way Tyler Perry has. And the first thing is that you have to build your own audience. Like, you have to find the audience that cares about you and just kind of is the battery, the ever rumbling engine behind your creative work that keeps you floating or keeps you just launching forward. Because if you don't have an audience and you're relying on Hollywood's audience to make you a creative, make you a filmmaker, make you wealthy even in this entertainment working field, I just don't think in the land of social media and in the world of on-demand video, that is a sustainable model. You have to start building your own audience that cares about you, and you have to start making decisions that is going to benefit you financially and start thinking about businesses you can build around your creative filmmaking. For Tyler Perry, that was him making his own films, establishing studios, making sure that he owns 100% of the films that he makes, and then if he produces on a film, he kind of takes a cut as being an executive producer for something out of Hollywood. So he's always investing. He's always making sure that he's building the levels of wealth on every project and endeavor he pursues. For Mr. Beast, he's kind of capitalized on his core foundational principle, which is become the biggest YouTuber in the world. And if you distill that down into a very basic principle, how do you become the biggest YouTuber in the world? Well, for one, you have to be entertaining. And so he's already in the realm of filmmaking and storytelling by just trying to be entertaining and almost telling stories with his YouTube content. But also, if you distill it down even further, it's marketing. It's how do you get someone to click on a YouTube video, a free YouTube video? How do you make them want to watch your video by the thumbnail and the title? And then once they're watching, how do you get them to watch to the end and want to watch some more? Like, it's as simple as that, really. And I think filmmakers have to start thinking that direction. Like, you have to think about, how am I investing financially into filmmaking, into my future self? So you have to be future minded, especially with AI and all of the evolving technologies. How am I investing in opportunities of the future and in my future monetary value with every film and entertainment project that I work on? And also, how am I building an audience and learning how to market myself and learning how to market my films to future proof and to build an audience around my work, right? That's very, very important. And so another thing you have to do in pursuit of that is you have to examine yourself. Like, you have to do a deep dive to examine what it is. Like, examine exactly what it is that you enjoy. What are your interests specifically with filmmaking? What are your interests outside of filmmaking? Can those two things kind of come together and build something unique that the world has never seen before? If there's ever been a time that I don't think there's an actual clear model that people can just get plugged into and follow, it's now. Like, if you want to become a doctor, you got to go to school, you have to do good at school, and you have to be in school for a while, and then you have to get licensed in the state you want to practice in, and then you get hired at a hospital or somewhere where you can start practicing, right? Like, there's a formula to start making that doctor money. With filmmaking and even creative work in general, there is no formula. It's out the window. Social media and now AI is redefining everything, not just about the craft, not just about how to be creative, and not just about audience expectation, but the entire industry that's been here for the past 100 years. Hollywood, everything, all of the big money businesses are completely lost. They're completely breaking at their foundation. So there's no model. You really have to figure this out as you go, and you really have to carve your own path. And that probably means that no one can follow you down that path because it has to be uniquely you. Mr. Beast was uniquely himself, and he poured all of his obsession into one thing, and he found a specific style. He found a specific way of creating videos that worked for him that honestly not a lot of people can replicate. Most people cannot replicate it. Tyler Perry, he jumped on Medea. He started doing films. He started investing himself into films and started making sure that he owns his own films instead of just getting plugged into the Hollywood system as an actor or talent that the majority of actors were doing in the 90s. They both carved their own path, and now they both are worth multiple billions of dollars, like their businesses and their net worth. So if you are inspired by this, definitely keep watching more videos on this channel. Hit like on this video and subscribe to the channel so you can see more just like this, and I'll see you next time.